We might see the inclusion of both Simeon and Anna's words in the Gospel at this point as part of the way in which Luke aimed to convince his readers of the identity of Jesus. Luke has told us about shepherds and angels. Now Simeon and Anna make up an additional part to the Christmas story, the older generation who have waited to see what God will do and how he will rescue his people and the whole of creation. Perhaps it is the mother in me which is most affected by the words which Simeon is said to have spoken to Mary. This child is destined to cause the falling and rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be spoken against, so that the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your own soul too. Again, I imagine the older Mary speaking with believers who asked her what it had been like, and she may have said, "These were Simeon's words, and now I see how they were fulfilled." Jesus, once he started his earthly ministry, made people choose. Either they believed in him and in who he was and is, or they didn't, and many spoke against him. His presence proved so offensive or dangerous to some of the Jewish leaders that the Gospels tell us they arranged for him to be arrested in such a way that he was bound to be executed. And Mary was there all the way through. We see glimpses of her at different points through the Gospel story. We see her more clearly towards the end. And I wonder whether, as she stood at the foot of the cross, Simeon's words echoed in her mind. A sword will pierce your own soul too. To stand and watch her son die in such a way must have been heart-wrenching. And so the joy of Christmas points towards the sacrifice of Easter. Of course, the Mary of the early church would also have known about the resurrection and about forgiveness, a new relationship with God which the cross made possible. She would have known about the Holy Spirit being available to all believers, about God's continuing work. And I wonder whether she ever looked back to the moment when the angel Gabriel first came and told her of God's plan for her to carry his baby, and marvelled at how she had been chosen to carry the child who is God's salvation for the world. It's still Christmas. In normal years, perhaps today, you would have been meeting with friends and family and continuing to celebrate. Although our meeting with others is limited, I hope and pray that we can each be comforted by knowing that there are no limits on us being able to meet with God. However you are spending the rest of today and the rest of this week, I pray continued Christmas blessings for you and yours. Our 3 French hens may symbolise faith, hope and love. Mary and Joseph put their faith in God despite the challenges they faced. Their faithfulness will have had an important impact on Jesus as he grew up. Simeon's words reminded them of the hope which their child had brought into the world, hope which sprang from the love of God for the world and the love that they as parents had for their child. I pray that this coming week and this coming year, whatever happens, whatever challenges we face, we may each allow our faith to lead us, that we may continue to put our hope in God who gave us the gift of Jesus, a gift which does lead to the salvation of the world, and that we may live lives full to overflowing with God's love for us and for the whole world. So now let's sing together, Born in the Night, Mary's Child.